Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makar Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone and wooden teacher. And shalom, wa barakatam, and to the hope for the elect. Brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners, doing their due diligence in truth and sincerity. It's here in the UK, man, London, and this is the second day, the temperatures have soared, man. We got the highest temperatures recorded in the UK ever, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot's going on over here right now. You got a lot of wildfires and fires that have been going on at the moment. These are stalling things like, transport. And you have a lot of the fire service at the moment, being called into action all over the place, man. I've just been hearing sirens all day long. But that's not the lesson I wanted to do. I wanted to touch on something. I wanted to just go into the psychology of a particular thing that I see going on a lot within Israel, man. So this is kind of like you could say like a small psychology lesson, man. And Lord willing, Yaratazar is edifying too. So yeah, the point is I wanted to make is that this quote here says, I saw this quote a while back and it sprang to mind again because this is what you see a lot of going on amongst Israel right now, amongst a lot of men in Israel, man. Whether they be teaching, whether they be in camps, whether they be by themselves. I see this going on a lot. A lot of men feeling they have to explain themselves or justify themselves. All we were commanded to do was feed the flock, man. That's what Yahweh Shai asked us to do if we have him, just to feed his flock and explain the scriptures, man. Explain the word. We haven't got to try to explain ourselves, man, or justify ourselves. Because really, just thinking on this quote, man, really what it is some of that old man we need to put away, some of them insecurities we had in the world, some of those fears we had in the world, we need to purge them out, man. We need to get rid of them, because this is not about us, man. This is not individually about any of us. This is about the glory of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and his elect, and Lord willing we be of the elect. The quote says, "Stop explaining yourself to everybody. You look weak." Yeah, and when I saw this quote straight away, like as always, I thought of myself, man, because we as men, we tend to explain ourselves sometimes when we don't need to, especially more so when we were in the world, not having the level of understanding that we have now, or wisdom, But all too often we will find ourselves explaining ourselves when we don't need to. And really, the reason being for that is because of the insecurities we have within ourselves, man. Because we are still men, at the end of the day. And I suppose we're always going to have certain insecurities. But at the same time, us being brought into the truth, man, us being pushed back into this marvelous light, man, under the spotlight of Yahweh Shemel Shine. Now we got to start eradicating those fears and insecurities we once had, man. Like it's permitted and a law for us to have a beard on our face. Certain brothers in the world, they might not have had a beard on their face before, man. They might have thought, it looks a bit too rough because, we don't shape our beards or our hair, man. So, we might have been a bit more insecure in the world towards these things to where now we don't really give a shit how we look to a degree when I say that, because obviously we still have to look presentable men, But the point is that we're losing a lot of those insecurities we had when we were in the world, man. Putting away the old man, parts of the old man at least. It says stop explaining yourself to everybody. You look weak, yeah, man, and you tend to look weak, man. That's another reason why women tend to have no respect or a lack of respect for men, because men do too much explaining themselves to women, man. When really we haven't got to explain ourselves to women. really, The moment we start doing that, we look weak, and the woman sees that as a weakness, man. Because really, that's what it is. Because we're showing that we're insecure. So I just want to get a few points on that. Like I said, because at the end of the day, there's a reason that we've done these things, or there's a reason why brothers still do these things, continue to do these things, man. And these are just 3 points of some of the reasons why we feel like we always have to explain ourselves or try to justify ourselves, man, or our actions. So number 1, it says, we are social beings, urged for acceptance in society. We want people to acknowledge us for our contributions or everyday behavior. The one who is more accepted in a group of work or in personal life feels more happy and light all the time. This makes us to explain our every action to others. Yeah, and I suppose, there's a balance there as well, because at the end of the day, there's always, everyone's got their own individual spirits. You're gonna have brothers that shine more than other brothers, and that's their lot, man. That's their portion, man. And call Allah ya bashim ya shy for that. But as human beings in the flesh, man, we urge for acceptance, man. All of us want to feel accepted in some way, shape, or form, man. But all we should really be trying to seek acceptance from the Lord, man, from Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shai. At the end of the day, because we're all just men. We're all just men at the end of the day, man. And these are some of the reasons why people always feel like they have to justify themselves and explain themselves every 2 seconds, man. And it really does look weak from the outside, man. When you're constantly watching brothers do videos, and less edification, less exhortation, but it's more just brothers explaining themselves every 5 minutes, man. The shit looks weak from the outside, man, and that's just me being totally honest. And I'm not saying I haven't been guilty of this at times. Maybe I have, man. And brothers, could tell me if I have, man. Because for us to check ourselves and see, if we trying to justify ourselves too much, man. It says also there is this compulsive need to continually keep proving ourselves right. There are times when nobody is concerned about your opinions or decisions, but you still explain. Yeah, man. And that's a fact, man. We've all gone through that. We've all done that, man. We've all found ourselves doing that at some time in our lives. But then we're meant to live and learn, man. And us having this truth now, us being gifted with this wisdom and understanding, purging out the old, man. Now we're meant to be secure in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. And care less and less about how we look, how we feel, and how others perceive us, man. But obviously, that's not the case all the time, because there's a lot of brothers out there that are still seeking acceptance, man. But not from the Lord, though. That's the thing. They're seeking acceptance from other men, which is sad to see, man. Because a lot of our nation, a lot of men in our nation, have grown up without fathers in their life, man. And I was blessed enough to have my father in my life, man. Personally, and I know other brothers ain't as fortunate as that, and sometimes it shows, man. Sometimes it really does show, because now you're seeking acceptance from any man, if it means they're gonna accept you, which is really sad, man. It says there are times when nobody is concerned about your opinions or your decisions, but you still explain. This is because of your underlying need to prove your point and to reassure yourself that you are right. So really, more times, man, we're just trying to be right in our own eyes, man, when we're seeking acceptance from other people. Always find ourselves trying to explain ourselves, man. And really, that's a sign of weakness, man. It looks weak because it is weak, man. And this ain't, like I say, man, this ain't me being proud. This is me admitting that I've done these things in the past and probably still do these things at time, from time to time, and as a man in the flesh. But when you really meditate on this shit, man, the shit's weak, man. And we have to check ourselves and make sure that we're not trying to, justify ourselves, man. Because this ain't about us, like I said. You know? It says there are people who give less care to what others think about them. Yeah, and that's true. Some of us care less about what others think about us, than others. And that's a two-edged sword as well, because there's a balance that everything has to have, man. So to a degree, you are meant to care how others perceive you, because there's a scripture that says, let me get it, so I don't mess it up. Salakia. To Proverbs 22:1, it says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and a loving favor rather than silver and gold. Yeah, a good name, man. Good name. And a lot of us seek a good name. So at times, we will care how others perceive us, how others look at us. But then we can't, it all depends on what we think others think about us. That's the key. And if it's the reason being, like it said up there, is to reassure ourselves that we're right, man. And man, at the end of the day, we're not right, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is right. And that's where the security comes in, understanding that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is right. And he's our security, man. He's our defense, man. He says there are people who give less care to what others think about them. Yeah, and we've had brothers that have had that spirit on them, as far back as they can remember, man, as children. Which is good, but then at the same time they have to balance their side out too, to where now maybe if you didn't care what people thought about you at all, now you have to start caring what people think about you to a degree. So like I said, it's all about a balance, man. Like everything is. It says there are people who give less care to what others think about them, but then there are those who care too much about their image. You see that? Yeah, man. And that's what you see a lot, man. That's what you see a lot of going on in Israel right now, man. Brothers that care too much about their image, whether that be physically or spiritually, man. Going overboard with it, man. Being over righteous, man. Outside looking like, yeah, man. You're the top Israelite. Different garment every lesson. Whatever it may be, man. But this thing is not about image. We're not really meant to care how the world view us, man. A man is not really meant to care about these things. A real man, anyway. It says, and there are those who care too much about their image, feel that they need to explain themselves all the time to ward off the fear. See that? The fear, man, of not being taken in the wrong sense. And that's why we have these insecurities we have, and feel that we have to explain ourselves or justify ourselves from time to time because of fear. And it's not it's misplaced fear, because the only fear we should be having is the fear of in our power, Yahweh Shai, man. The rest of the other fear, like I say, I just done a lesson recently on fear, man, and why there's a righteous fear and there's a fear we shouldn't have, man. And a lot of those ways of the old man moved in fear, insecurities, And we see way too much of it going on, man. See way too much of it going on right now. Every lesson, man. Every lesson I see certain brothers, man, And I don't know brothers' names, a lot of brothers' names to call their names on it, I don't really want to call no names, but this is what I see from time to time. And, you go past and you start to see a pattern to it, like I say, but, you're not hearing any edification or any exhortation. You're just hearing self-justification, man. And, brothers trying to explain their self every lesson, man. And the shit's tedious, man. It's tedious, and like I said, it's sad to watch, man. Because, it's insecurities. It's brothers just looking and wanting to be accepted, man, of other men. And we ain't in this thing to be accepted by other men, you know. Yahushua and the disciples were accepted by every man, and they didn't care, man. And that's the spirit we're meant to be in, you know. Like, we're meant to be in the spirit like, fuck the world, man. Fuck how you view me or perceive me, man. As long as Yahushua know my works and my heart, man. This is the book of Job, chapter 9. Verse 20 says, if I justify myself, mine own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So let's not try to justify ourselves, man. Because at the end of the day, our own mouth is going to condemn us, man. Because at the end of the day, the mouth always speaks the abundance of the heart. And, you know, other brothers are not simple, man. You know, and what it goes to show really is that some brothers really don't deal with self-examination. You know? And that's just a fact, man. We have to examine ourselves. And some brothers just, it's plain, it's obvious to see some brothers are not examining themselves. Because if they would, you know, brothers might watch their videos back after a lesson just to make sure, you know, was on point, to make sure they weren't speaking anything from their own mind, you know. That's self-examination in itself, man. And brothers must take a look at themselves sometimes, be like, okay, now, man, you know, I'm trying to justify myself too much here. Must think to themselves, why am I trying to explain myself all the time? Brothers must get tired of doing that shit. And really, you don't have to do that. The only reason we do that is because we seek an acceptance, man. And we're insecure in ourselves. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua didn't call us to be insecure, man, and fearful, man, and doubtful. He called us to be firmly rooted, man, and steadfast, man, bold. Now this is a, you know, short lesson I wanted to do, man, because like I say, you know, this is something that's you're seeing all too much, man, really, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, this is, like the apostle said, this is the year of the turn up, man, and the Most High really is turning things up, man. You see that there's a lot of goings on right now within Israel, man. There's a lot of spiritual things happening. You know, the Heavenly Father is sifting, man. So that's why, like I say, we have to continue to examine ourselves. Because a lot of the time, man, I'll just be plainly honest, the shit looks weak, man, from the outside looking in. And like I say, you know, brothers watch my videos, brothers see my lessons. If you know, if you feel like I've done that, man, and I you know, seen it for myself, man, hey, call me out on it, man. Let me know, man, because I don't want to be perceived as trying to you know, justify myself, man, or feel like, you know, I'm doing the lesson just trying to explain myself all the time, man. You know, I'm like, Lord willing, man, I do these lessons to edify the hopeful elect, man. You know. So yeah, man, once again, man, stop explaining yourself to everybody. You look weak. And that's the message of the lesson, man. Yeah. So like I say again, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And Tawada, Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And with that I say Ka Halo Yimla Abanawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Wahar Rakah Qadash Barakatam, and Shalom to the elect.